Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Crafty Concepts with Erin. It is the third Friday of the month, and that means my crafty team and I are collaborating. We're working our way through the Close to My Heart, Make It From Your Heart Volume 6 sketchbook, and we are on pattern 6, which is a single page layout. But I'm going to be turning this into a double page. So if I hold this up a little closer, you can see there are 6 photos, and it looks like they've got some 3x4s and 3x3s, and they give you 2 different examples. Now on the top layout here, they have the title and journaling on the left hand side, and they've done some fun ink blending. There's some paper tearing techniques, a lot of great suggestions here. And then here they have a slightly different version, similar layout, but they've kind of flipped it. So the title element is on the right hand side. And photo heavy, very light on the embellishments, which I know a lot of you like. But of course, these are just jumping off points, and you can, maybe add less photos. You could use one of these for a journaling block. They do give you all of the measurements if you want to recreate these sketches exactly. Now I am working on my Alaska layout or Alaska album. I've been really inspired to work on this lately, and I have printed out these photos to match the right. This is going to be the second page of my layout, and I'm going to add the left hand side. So I've got 2 of the 3x3 square photos, and then I have 3 landscape mode or landscape orientation photos, some scenery photos, and then flying in a seaplane or float plane. This was our first time doing anything like this in a little tiny plane, and it was really exciting, a little scary, and absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at the views from up there. It was just incredible. So these are the photos I will place on this page, and I have again printed those out to coordinate with these sizes. And then I have my favorite photo that's going to be on the left hand side, and this is all of us, my friend Bonnie and her husband Trigger, my husband Mike, and I in the back of the plane. It was just the 4 of us and the pilot in the plane, and this is going to be my main feature photo, and then all of these will be the supporting photos. So let me scoot these out of the way here. We'll go ahead and bring in both versamats for the double pages here, and then I am going to be building these on a sheet of white daisy cardstock. I'm going to start with what I know, which is going to be the right hand side. Now in the change of scenery paper, there is this scenery paper on one side, and I just did a video recently on my channel using this paper because I had a couple packs of it, so I had extra pieces. But the opposite side is this gorgeous cloud pattern, and I thought, well, that might be fun. What a good opportunity to use the clouds, right? We're up in the sky. And let's bring in my photos. So according to the sketch, they've got the 2 3x3 squares in the center. And then now I've got 2 inside the plane and 2 scenery shots here. That's upside down. So I think I want to break those up. And my husband and I are facing that way, so I'm going to put it on the inside of the layout. And then maybe we'll go with this scenery picture up here. And let's offset this one to carry that color scheme down and on the diagonal, and we'll have the other scenery photo maybe right there. And I'm going to mix these up because you got the blue and the blue, so let's just carry that blue to the outside. Now you'll notice I did cut my cloud paper to 11.5 inches squared, and that gives me a 1/4 inch border. We have a nice frame around, which I do often, but if you look at the example sketch, they have drawn in a frame to represent that look with a pen line. This one doesn't have it, so of course you can, utilize that look or not, but I did want to have the white background on this one. Now I still have quite a few 12x12 full sheets of the pattern paper, but I also have a lot of scraps left over. Now this is the only piece of the cloud paper I have left, and I always like to kind of carry those elements over to the other side somehow. So I only have 1 photo for this side, and chances are I got this out of the center of another piece of paper, and that's why I have it. Let's see, it is 8 1/4 by 8 by 8.5, so it's not even square, but let's roll with it. And then I know I want to bring in some of this pine pattern paper here, And then this is nice too. It's kind of like a little burlap look in the toffee. So we've got those to work with. We'll go ahead and bring in our main focal photo here. Now they have matted all of theirs. I've printed them with a white border, but that doesn't really stand out well on the background. So I did cut a bunch of toffee colored photo mats here, and that is going to, you know, complement this burlap paper very nicely. And I think it'll have a nice separation from the background. So the two smaller photos, they have actually matted in a different color. So I didn't cut mats for those yet because I'm not sure what I want to do, but I thought I'd go with toffee for all of these, and then my main photo here. So we definitely need to bring in some more layers of paper over here. It's just needing some depth to it. So I've got lots of options here, and let's see here. This side's cute. It's got these little postage scenery type stamps on it, but I think that I want to use this one because I want to bring in that darker mocha color. But I also have this one, which is green on the opposite side, and this is a look I do a lot. So I'll have, you know, a bar going down the left-hand side, and then, you know, paper layers kind of, and you can do one photo or you can do two photos across the center. But that looks good. And then we could do something like this. But you know what? Let's go with the darker color. This one still has a zip strip attached, but let's try it. We'll use the toffee color for the side, and then add a little horizontal anchor with the darker pine green color. So I'd like this a little bit lower, but I want some of that. And I could cut the piece behind here and extend that a little bit, but that looks good. And then let's see. Oh, those are both 3 inches. Nice. So we can run this across, even though this sketch does not have, you know, any paper layers or anything going across. That's okay. If all we take from it is the photo orientation, then that still counts, right? I dug through the papers, and I did have another one of those little branding strips, so we can carry that across. Now that blue cloud paper is not showing up very well against that white daisy background, so I'm going to ink up all the edges of all the layers with Mocha ink just to give everything a little bit more of a pop. So I'll do a little on camera and get the rest of that done off screen. But basically I'm documenting our, as I mentioned, flight on a seaplane. I think there were 2 more seats behind us, so it could have held 6 passengers, but it was just the 4 of us. And we were leaving Juneau, flying to Gustavus to stay at the Glacier Bay Lodge for a few days. And this kind of really kicked off the trip. You know, once we were none of us had been on a seaplane before. We didn't land on the water, which we really wanted to, but it just, you know, didn't work out that way because Gustavus has a runway. What are you going to do? Now, I dug through my stash, and I have this stamp with a plane on it, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to get some use from this stamp set. It's an older stamp set, but it's still available. It's called Dreams Take Flight, and it has the plane and a couple clouds, which I'm going to add to the layout here. But the sentiments are really nice. They say life is a grand adventure, which is great for travel pages. You're going places, the sky's the limit, and let your dreams take flight. I actually created a really fun trifold shutter card for my son's graduation a few years ago. I'll pop that up on the screen. But if you want to see how I created this card, then check out the video in the description box below. I stamped the old-fashioned plane in Mocha, but I'm going to use intense black for my clouds just in case I want to add a little color with my markers. And I know I want more than 2 because I like to do things in odd numbers, so I will get more of those stamped and cut out off camera. This does have coordinating dies, so we'll go ahead and die cut those. And now I have all of these great little bits to embellish with. So I'm thinking about maybe a little cluster up top here. It's kind of nice having the plane flying into the layout. And now I have this sticker, Enjoying the View, from the Change of Scenery collection. Now on the sketch, they have it there, but you know what? Let's bump these over so we can bring that embellishment cluster all the way to the outside of the page so it's sure to carry your eye across. Now this is a pattern paper from the Evergreen collection, which was a Christmas paper pack, but it had a very strong outdoor feel to it. So I've actually been using it more for outdoor layouts than Christmas. But I wanted a little more green behind my focal photo. And then I turned to the change of scenery sticker paper or sticker sheet and pulled stickers that could potentially work. I have a couple more clouds, so I thought I'd put those maybe up here. The sentiment stickers say Wanderlust and Great Escape, and then I have a little compass and some trees. Now this is a sun, and I thought, well, that might go well with my little scene up here. Why not? It's a good opportunity to use that sticker. So I think that looks pretty cute. I have a little drawer with wooden titles, and I pulled this one out. It says Destination Fun. These are just left over in my stash. I think it was from the maybe Spruced Up collection many years ago, but what better opportunity than now to add this to a layout. I think we can kind of curve this right through this space here, and it's going to really pop off that blue background. Yeah, that's cute. I like it. So that could be a title, or it could be kind of a subtitle. I'll probably add some foam tape to those clouds too, just to make this area a little bit more dimensional. I have this cluster of pine trees I want to incorporate, and it could go, there's lots of places, but you know what? Let's bump these over and create a little embellishment cluster. We don't have a ton of room, but I think this will work. And I don't like how they're just kind of floating in space, so we need to anchor those to the layout. And these word sentiment strips, I think, will do the trick. So I kind of want to wrap these around, framing in the photo. I don't want to over clutter this area, but I think the compass might work too. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Now we have this visual triangle carrying your eye all the way across the layout. When I pulled the pattern paper out of the Evergreen collection, this little tag fell out, so it was begging to be used on the layout. So that draws that green up to the top there. Now these were a gift from a very thoughtful fellow crafter, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. It's spelled Heike, but I believe it's Heike, and she makes the most beautiful cards. But she sent me a whole box of Christmas supplies, and these were in here in the box, and it was just so sweet, and I love them. So I'm happy to have the opportunity to add them to this layout here. So we could put them across the bottom, and I'm going to set this aside for now while I think about my title, because I'm not sure. I might want to add it to this left-hand side. This pattern paper is just sitting off to the side of my desk, and it's like looking at me like, pick me, pick me. So let's see, maybe it'll work out. I'm going to kind of slide it under here. I need to bump this back over, and you know what? I like it. I do. Now we got to add it to the other side though. So this is a sneak peek at an upcoming die set in the March and April catalog. And you know I love me some dies. There's some great shapes in there, kind of what I call neutral shapes that you can add to so many layouts. So I'm going to cut a shape of this arrow from this pattern paper just to kind of bring this over. Maybe we can squeeze it in this spot here. I think it complements the arrows in those branding strips going across the center of the layout too. So let me just kind of arrange my little clouds there. I took a snippet off that remaining pattern paper and dovetailed the end so we could just sneak in a little bit more. I think maybe right here. That looks cute. I got to this point, and originally my intention was to include my journaling right in this section here. So I did kind of, size it to fit that area. Now that is printed on the Avery clear sticker paper. This is, I get asked this quite a bit. This is non-yellowing and acid-free. It does say that in the description, so it is safe. But so you're not going to see that white background when I peel that off, but I'm just placing it there for temporary. I also, yes, I did waste a little bit, but I'm going to be looking at this layout for the rest of my life, so I really wanted to be sure, and if I wasted a little bit of paper, I'm okay with it. So I also printed out the same journaling. I just changed the size of the text box to fit this longer linear space. Now obviously I don't need it in both locations, but I do want to show you that if we were going with a single page approach, I've got everything on this layout and I really like it. I still need to finish the top of my tag there, but details. So I've got the title, the journaling. I still have this, diagonal draw across the layout, drawing your eye. So we followed the sketch pretty closely, just adding this extra paper layer here. And I do really, really like that. But when we bring in the second side, typically I put my titles on the left side. And if you kind of take this out and leave the title over there, you could split the difference and put this here. We still have our little, tree strips, so we could add a little row of trees down there. But I still feel like I need something some visual weight down here. So I think that I want to, I've got a couple of these little guys trimmed up here, so I'll have to trim it more, but that'll be hidden behind the title. So we could do, this was another option. I had paused the camera and played around with different options, and then we could bump our journaling up a little bit and then put a row of trees down in this area to kind of bring that design element over. So I feel like that has a better balance. Even though I loved this in this spot over here, it needed something, so I am going to go with this. What I could have done is printed my journaling on inexpensive printer paper and got a feel for it before wasting my sticker paper, but that's okay. I'll do better next time. So I'm going to kind of burnish this right into the layout, and I love how it lets the pattern paper show through. And then I do want to add those little trees, but maybe I can stretch these a little bit so I'm not cutting into a new piece. So yep, right about there. Let me just snip this little guy and then extend it, and no one will know that's not one solid piece there. I did go ahead and get everything adhered down, and again, thank you so much, Heike, for sending those to me. It was just really thoughtful, and I'm very happy to have them. So let me hold this up, and yeah, isn't that gorgeous? Look at that view. When I first looked at this sketch, it kind of felt like there wasn't a whole lot of room for embellishing, but I'm surprised at how much I was able to add without it feeling overcrowded. So let me bring that sketch back in so you can kind of see the changes I made. I really did follow it pretty closely. I just created that companion page to go along with it. I will have still shots up over on my Pinterest, Facebook, or Instagram account. You can find those links in the description box below, along with all of the supplies I used to create this layout. If you're not already a subscriber, I invite you to join me so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you're looking for more outdoor inspiration to document your adventures, then check out this video playlist right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.